In a world where most people pray for miracles while acting like victims, there is one law that separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck. The universe does not respond to hope. It responds to certainty. The moment you start moving, speaking, thinking, and behaving like the life you want is already yours, everything around you begins to shift. Your energy changes, your confidence changes, the opportunities around you change. Doors open that were once invisible. People appear who were once out of reach, and reality starts bending toward you as if it recognizes you because you finally recognize yourself. 1. The universe responds to identity, not wishes. Most people spend their whole lives wanting a better life, praying for breakthroughs, hoping for miracles, and wishing for abundance. Yet nothing truly changes because their identity stays the same. They speak about their goals, but they continue behaving like someone who doesn't believe they deserve those goals. They ask the universe for success, yet they carry the energy of someone waiting for permission instead of someone prepared to receive. They dream of money and freedom, but their mindset is still shaped by fear, hesitation, and a belief that good things happen to others, not to them. They pray for confidence, yet every movement of their body reflects insecurity. The lowered shoulders, the soft voice, the lack of eye contact, the uncertainty in their decisions. They want a new life, but they keep living inside the old version of themselves. What most people never understand is that the universe does not reward your wishes, your words, or your desires. It rewards your identity. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you see yourself as weak, life will send situations that match weakness. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will find yourself stuck in cycles that reinforce unworthiness. If you believe you are meant for small things, you will never notice the opportunities for bigger things, even when they appear directly in front of you. But the moment you begin to shift your identity, truly shift it, your reality starts rearranging itself around you. When you start acting like a disciplined person, even before you feel disciplined, the habits you build create momentum that brings success closer. When you start carrying yourself like someone who knows their value, people begin to respond to you with a respect you never received before, because your energy announces your worth before your words do. If you speak with purpose and clarity, opportunities begin to find their way to your voice. People trust you more, doors open faster, life starts matching the strength of your tone. The world mirrors your self-image, not your hopes. This is why identity is so powerful. Everything you attract, people, experiences, opportunities, challenges, is a reflection of how you show up. If you show up small, you attract small. If you show up uncertain, you attract confusion. If you show up ready, disciplined, confident, and committed, life sends situations that match that frequency. Your reality is not created from effort alone, it is shaped by identity. The day you stop asking, "Do I deserve this?" and start declaring, "This is who I am now," everything begins to shift. Change how you see yourself, change how you carry yourself, and your life will have no choice but to rise to the new version of you. 2. Acting like it's already yours changes your energy. Instantly, there is a moment in every person's life when their energy shifts long before their circumstances change. That moment happens the second you stop acting like you are trying to become someone and start behaving like you already are that someone. Most people misunderstand this idea. They think acting like it's already yours means pretending, bragging, or showing off. It doesn't. It means stepping into the emotional, mental, and behavioral state of the version of yourself who already achieved what you're asking for. Because when your inner world changes, your outer world begins to adjust itself automatically. Your energy is not invisible. People can feel it. Opportunities can feel it. Life itself responds to it. When you act like something is already yours, your energy shifts in 3 powerful ways that immediately change how the world interacts with you. First, your confidence rises. When you carry the energy of someone who already succeeded, your mind naturally stops doubting your worthiness. You no longer wonder, "Can I do this?" Because the version of you who already has the result doesn't ask that question. They move with certainty, and when you step into that identity, your fear weakens instantly. You become bolder, calmer, less reactive, and more focused. Second, your decisions become stronger and more aligned. You stop making choices from desperation or fear of loss. You stop overthinking every step. Instead, you start making the kind of decisions that people with results make. You take calculated risks. You invest in your growth. You cut off the habits that don't fit your future. You make moves with confidence instead of hesitation. And these aligned decisions create a ripple effect that pushes your life forward. Third, your fear decreases significantly. When you act like something is already yours, you are no longer stepping into the unknown, you are stepping into what feels familiar. Your mind behaves differently when you see success as your natural state instead of something impossible. Fear loses its power because your imagination is no longer filled with what could go wrong. It is filled with what is meant to go right. This creates a calmness inside you that changes how you walk, talk, think, and respond to challenges. This energy shift doesn't happen slowly. It happens the moment you choose a different identity. You start moving through the world differently. You stop needing validation. You stop getting intimidated by other people's success. You stop comparing yourself to anyone. Why? Because someone who already believes the blessing is theirs does not stress over timing, competition, or opinions. They simply prepare and keep moving. When your energy elevates, everything around you elevates with it. People treat you differently because they sense strength in your presence. Opportunities appear because your confidence creates openings you couldn't see before. Life becomes more cooperative because you are no longer resisting your potential, you are stepping into it. This is why acting like it's already yours is so powerful. It transforms you from the inside out, and once you shift internally, the external world has no choice but to shift in response. 3. Your mind can't tell the difference between vision and reality. Your mind is the most obedient servant you have, but most people use it the wrong way. They feed it images of fear, failure, doubt, and worst-case scenarios, and then wonder why their life feels heavy and chaotic. What they don't understand is that the mind cannot distinguish between something you vividly imagine and something you physically experience. If you visualize fear, your body reacts with anxiety. If you visualize failure, your energy shrinks. If you visualize being abandoned, betrayed, or humiliated, your nervous system fires in the same way it would if those events were happening right now, even though they exist only in your imagination. This is why many people stay stuck. They rehearse the wrong reality in their minds every single day. But the same truth that can keep you stuck can also set you free. Because when you begin visualizing the life you want instead of the one you fear, something extraordinary happens. Your mind starts to treat your vision as if it is already unfolding. Your nervous system begins adjusting to a higher version of yourself. You stop responding with insecurity because your brain is practicing confidence every time you imagine yourself succeeding. You stop overthinking because your mind is rehearsing certainty instead of doubt. You stop feeling unworthy because your inner world is conditioning your body to believe you belong on the level you desire. This is why great athletes visualize their victories before stepping onto the field. Champions win internally long before they win externally. They mentally rehearse excellence until their mind accepts it as reality. And once the mind accepts it, the body follows, the behavior follows, the decisions follow, and eventually the results follow. That is how powerful visualization is. Not magic, not fantasy, but neurological programming. The human brain is designed to filter billions of pieces of information every second, but it only shows you the pieces that match the identity you repeatedly focus on. If you constantly imagine failure, your brain highlights everything that confirms failure. If you imagine success, your brain shows you opportunities, solutions, ideas, people, and pathways that were always there but invisible to the older version of you. Your vision sharpens your awareness. Your imagination expands your strategy. Your inner picture becomes a GPS that guides your external choices. Most people say, "I'll believe it when I see it," and that's why they stay stuck. They wait for external proof before creating internal certainty. But the universe operates in the opposite order. You see it internally before you see it externally. Belief precedes manifestation. Identity precedes reality. Vision precedes arrival. When you visualize your future with clarity and emotion, your mind begins preparing you for that future as if it is already real. You start speaking differently. You start walking with more purpose. You start respecting yourself more. You start saying no to the things that don't align with where you're going. You naturally rise to the level of the person you see in your imagination. And here is the part most people overlook. You don't visualize to escape reality. You visualize to build the mindset that will shape a new reality. Your inner world is the construction site. Your imagination is the blueprint. Your identity is the foundation, and your habits are the tools that bring the blueprint into the physical world. The moment you begin consistently feeding your mind a clear vision of the life you want, the mind starts working in your favor instead of against you. It stops protecting you from growth and starts preparing you for success. It stops reacting from fear and starts responding from confidence. It stops replaying your past and starts building your future. Your mind cannot tell the difference between vision and reality, so feed it a vision worth living. 4. The universe moves when you move. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in the same place for years is because they wait. They wait for clarity, wait for motivation, wait for signs, wait for money, wait for the right moment, wait for life to give them a guarantee that everything will work out before they take a single step. This waiting becomes their cage. They don't realize that hesitation itself is the energy that blocks blessings. The universe doesn't respond to people who stand still. It responds to people who move. Movement is a signal of readiness. When you take action toward your goal, even if it's small, even if you're unsure, even if you're afraid, you send a loud message into the universe. I am prepared for the next level. And instantly, things begin to shift, not because of luck, but because motion activates opportunities that are invisible to those who hesitate. When you move, you become visible. When you move, people notice. When you move, you trigger reactions in the world that you could never trigger while staying frozen in fear. Most people don't have a lack of talent problem. They have a lack of movement problem. They think the universe will reward them for thinking, planning, wishing, or hoping. But the truth is simple. The universe only responds to action. You can think about a dream for 10 years and nothing will happen. But take one step toward it today, and suddenly your reality starts shifting. Someone messages you, an opportunity appears, a door opens, you stumble onto information you didn't have before. It feels like coincidence, but it isn't. It's alignment caused by movement. When you move, your energy changes. You stop being a passive observer of life and become an active participant. Your confidence grows because action creates self-trust. Every step you take builds evidence that you are capable, that you are serious, that you are becoming the person your future requires. And the more evidence you create, the less power your fears have over you. Fear cannot paralyze a moving target. Movement also changes your mindset. When you start walking toward your goals, you no longer see obstacles as stop signs. You see them as puzzles to solve. You stop overthinking because your focus shifts from "what if it goes wrong?" to "what can I do next?" You stop doubting yourself because every step gives you new experience, new clarity, and new confidence. Movement forces you to evolve. When you move, you grow. When you move, you learn. When you move, you become sharper, faster, wiser, and stronger. And here is the part people overlook. You don't need the whole path to start moving. You just need the next step. When you take the next step, the following step reveals itself. You don't need to know the entire journey. You just need to begin. The people who look successful today weren't guided by perfect plans. They were guided by courage. They didn't wait for stars to align. They moved until the stars aligned around them. The universe has a rhythm, and that rhythm rewards motion. When you move with intention, life rearranges itself to support you. The people you need start appearing. The resources you lacked start showing up. The ideas you were searching for start unfolding. Your movement activates momentum, and momentum is the force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Remember this truth: the universe cannot steer a parked car. If you want direction, you must begin driving. If you want new opportunities, you must step out of your comfort zone. If you want a new chapter, you must turn the page yourself. Nothing changes until you change. Nothing moves until you move. The moment you stop waiting and start acting, even imperfectly, you create a shift that the universe cannot ignore. And that single step becomes the spark that changes everything. 5. Your words are a direct signal to reality. Most people underestimate the power of their own voice. They speak carelessly, casually, emotionally, without realizing that every word they release into the world forms the story they end up living. Your words are not just sounds, they are signals, commands, instructions that shape the direction of your life. Every time you speak, you are programming your identity, conditioning your mindset, sculpting your reality, and telling the universe what tone to respond to. Your life follows the language you use most often. Think about how people speak when they don't believe in themselves. Their words are filled with doubt, fear, hesitation, and smallness. They say things like, "I hope it happens," "maybe one day," "I don't know if I can," "I'm not sure I'm ready," or "I'll try." These words seem harmless, but they carry a vibration of uncertainty. They don't command anything. They don't declare anything. They don't pull blessings closer. They push them away. When you speak with doubt, the universe responds with situations that match doubt. When your voice hesitates, life hesitates too. But when someone believes in their future, their words change. They speak with clarity, with strength, with conviction. They say, "I will, I can, I am capable, I am ready, and it's already mine." These words don't come from arrogance. They come from alignment. They reflect a person who has already decided who they are becoming. And because their words are powerful, their life starts moving in the direction of their language. The universe responds to conviction. It responds to clarity. It responds to certainty. Your words either weaken or strengthen your identity. Every sentence you say becomes a confirmation to your subconscious mind. If you repeatedly tell yourself you are not good enough, your mind will create behaviors that support that belief. If you constantly say you are unlucky, your brain will ignore opportunities and highlight problems, reinforcing the idea. But if you affirm strength, discipline, success, and abundance, your mind will start building patterns that match those words. Your thoughts will shift, your habits will shift, your confidence will shift, your decisions will shift, and eventually, your reality will shift. This is why spiritual teachers, philosophers, and high achievers across history all teach the same concept. Your tongue shapes your destiny. Your voice is the first architect of your life. What you repeatedly speak becomes what you repeatedly live. Your words either open doors or close them. They either elevate your energy or drain it. They either prepare you for blessings or sabotage your growth before it even begins. Consider this. When you speak from weakness, you shrink your possibilities. But when you speak from power, you expand your possibilities instantly. Your voice sends a message not only to the outside world, but to your inner world. It tells your spirit whether it should rise or retreat. It tells your mind whether it should create solutions or find excuses. It tells your confidence whether to wake up or stay asleep. Your words carry frequency, and that frequency is felt long before your results appear. Speak in fear, and life mirrors fear back to you. Speak in strength, and life rises to match your strength. Speak like someone who already owns the future you're working for, and your reality begins shifting toward that identity. You don't need to shout. You don't need to brag. You don't need to convince anyone. You simply need to choose words that align with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Stop saying, "I hope." Stop saying, "I wish." Stop saying, "maybe one day." Replace these with, "I am," "I will," "I'm becoming," and "it's already mine." When your language matches your vision, your reality will follow. Your words are not predictions, they are instructions. Speak wisely, and your life will rise to meet the level of your voice. 6. Acting like it's already yours doesn't mean pretending, it means preparing. Many people hear the idea, "act like it's already yours," and misunderstand it completely. They think it means pretending, faking confidence, showing off, or convincing others that they are more successful than they actually are. But true alignment has nothing to do with pretending. It has everything to do with preparing. Preparation is the highest, purest form of belief. When you prepare for something before it arrives, you are making a statement to life. I trust that this blessing is coming, and I'm getting ready for it now. Look at the difference between pretending and preparing. Pretending is empty, it is loud, external, and ego-driven. It seeks attention. It focuses on looking the part instead of becoming the part. Pretending is fragile because it depends on other people's eyes. But preparing is quiet. It is internal. It is grounded. It is powerful because it comes from certainty, not insecurity. When you prepare, you don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need applause. You don't need people to believe in your future. You believe in it enough to begin moving as if it's already unfolding. Preparation is how you tell the universe you are serious. If you want a better body, you don't wait until you feel confident. You start eating and training like someone who already respects their health. If you want financial freedom, you don't wait until you have a huge income. You start budgeting like someone who handles money with discipline. If you want a successful business, you don't wait until you have thousands of customers. You start operating with professionalism, consistency, and standards right now. That is preparation. And preparation is faith in action. Preparation changes your identity long before the result arrives. When you prepare, you naturally shift your habits. Your behavior elevates. Your environment evolves. You start removing things that don't fit your future. You start making decisions that reflect where you're going, not where you currently stand. That shift is what triggers the universe to respond. The universe matches preparation with opportunity. It sends open doors to people who are ready, not people who are waiting. Think of it like this. If someone told you guests were coming to your home, the first thing you'd do is prepare. You'd clean, you'd organize, you'd set things in place long before the doorbell rings. You don't clean after they arrive, you prepare before they show up. The same principle applies to blessings. You don't wait for the miracle to begin acting like someone capable of receiving it. You prepare for it now, and that preparation pulls the blessing closer. When you prepare, you make space. You remove old behaviors. You break old habits. You distance yourself from environments and people who don't align with the level you're stepping into. You begin carrying yourself with the discipline, focus, and mindset of someone who is already living the life you're working toward. And when you do this consistently, your preparation becomes your identity. Your identity becomes your energy, and that energy becomes the magnet that draws new opportunities toward you. Preparation is not glamorous. It is not flashy, it is not exciting every day, but it is powerful because it builds the version of you who can hold the blessing once it comes. Most people want the blessing but are not prepared to sustain it. They want success without discipline. They want money without self-control. They want love without healing. They want opportunities without responsibility. But blessings require a foundation, and preparation is the process of building that foundation. The universe does not reward desire alone. It rewards readiness. When you act like it's already yours by preparing for it, your life begins rearranging itself. Ideas appear, people enter your life, doors open, momentum builds, not because of luck, but because the universe recognizes that you have aligned your identity with your future. Acting like it's already yours is not delusion, it is direction. It is not pretending, it is positioning. The more you prepare, the more you declare, I am ready for the life I am building. And once the universe sees readiness, it delivers what you've been waiting for, often faster than you expect. 7. When you become the version of yourself that has it, the universe must respond. There is a moment when the universe stops resisting you, when it stops testing you, doubting you, delaying you, and begins aligning everything in your favor. That moment is not when you finally get the blessing. It is when you finally become the version of yourself who is ready to receive it. Most people think they need the success first, and then they will become confident, disciplined, focused, or worthy. But the universe works the opposite way. You become the person first, and then the results arrive. The identity comes before the reward. The inner shift comes before the outer changes. The world responds to who you are, not who you say you want to be. Everything you want in life already exists. The relationships you desire, the opportunities you dream about, the strength you wish you had, the career you imagine, they are all waiting for you to meet them at the right frequency. And frequency is just another word for identity. If your identity is rooted in fear, you attract situations that confirm fear. If your identity is rooted in lack, you attract experiences that keep you in lack. If your identity is rooted in uncertainty, life mirrors that uncertainty back to you. But when your identity rises, when you truly embody the person who already has the blessing, the universe shifts instantly, because now you are aligned with what you want. Becoming that version of yourself is not about pretending or forcing. It is about elevating your habits, your mindset, your daily choices, and your emotional responses. It's about upgrading the way you think, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you treat yourself, and the way you handle challenges. When you embody your future self, you stop giving energy to things that belong to your past. You stop fighting battles that no longer matter. You stop chasing things that drain you. You stop entertaining people who don't match your direction. You start respecting your time, your boundaries, and your purpose. You begin living like someone who knows where they are going. When you become that version of yourself, everything changes. You no longer crave validation from others because your confidence comes from within. You no longer overthink every step because you trust your path. You no longer fear losing people because you know alignment will always bring the right people into your life. You begin making decisions based on who you're becoming, not who you used to be. And that single shift in identity sends a powerful signal into the universe. I am ready. Once the universe receives that signal, your reality begins to rearrange itself. Unexpected opportunities appear. The right connections show up. Doors that once seemed locked suddenly open. People who doubted you begin to notice your growth. Obstacles that used to overwhelm you now feel manageable. You start meeting people who reflect your new identity instead of your old one. Life moves differently around you because you have moved differently within yourself. And here's the deepest truth. When you truly become the person who already has the blessing, you stop chasing the blessing altogether because you know it's just a matter of time before it arrives. You no longer operate from desperation. You operate from certainty. You no longer ask, when will it happen? You instead say, it's already on the way. And that shift in belief is what accelerates your manifestation. Your energy becomes magnetic. Your presence becomes stronger. Your purpose becomes clearer. You stop settling. You stop doubting. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. You begin to rise without apology. You begin to claim things without fear. You begin to walk with the inner knowing that everything meant for you is already moving toward you. The universe cannot resist a person who is aligned with their future. When your thoughts, habits, actions, decisions, and self-image all match the version of you who has the life you desire, the universe must respond. It has no choice. Reality always bends to identity. The inner shift is the true manifestation. Once you become the person internally, the external results are inevitable. When you embody the version of yourself that already has it, the universe delivers what you've been preparing for, because blessings belong to those who become ready for them. 8. Your environment must match your future, not your past. One of the biggest reasons people fail to manifest the life they want is because they try to grow while staying rooted in an environment that belongs to their old identity. They try to think like their future self, while living in the routines of their past self. They try to elevate their energy while surrounding themselves with people who drain it. They try to become disciplined while living in places, habits, and patterns that keep them small. But the truth is simple. You cannot transform your life while living in an environment that keeps you attached to the person you're trying to outgrow. Your environment is not just the physical space around you. It is the energy, the people, the conversations, the habits, the media you consume, the daily patterns you repeat, and the emotional atmosphere you allow yourself to sit in. All of these things shape your identity, and because identity shapes destiny, your environment becomes one of the strongest forces determining where your life goes next. Most people try to change internally while nothing changes externally. They start believing they deserve better, but they keep returning to people who don't value them. They begin setting new goals, but they keep surrounding themselves with distractions. They start developing self-respect, but they live in spaces that don't reflect that respect. They want a higher level of life, but their environment keeps pulling them down to a lower vibration. Your environment is like soil. No matter how powerful the seed is, it cannot grow if the soil is toxic. You may have ambition, intelligence, talent, discipline, and drive, but if everything around you keeps reinforcing your old identity, you will always feel stuck. Growth requires alignment. Your inner world and outer world must match. You cannot rise while living in a place that encourages you to stay the same. This is why people who transform their lives often go through a season of separation. They outgrow old circles. They spend more time alone. They become more selective with who they talk to, what they listen to, how they spend their time, and what energies they let into their space. It isn't because they think they're better than others, it's because their environment must evolve to support the new version of themselves. You cannot become the person your future requires while staying trapped in the environment your past created. When you start shaping your environment intentionally, everything changes. You begin placing yourself in spaces that nurture your growth instead of choking it. You surround yourself with people who inspire you rather than people who drain your spirit. You create routines that support your discipline instead of sabotaging it. You fill your mind with ideas, content, and conversations that elevate your identity. Slowly, your environment becomes a reflection of your future, not your past. And then something powerful happens. Your identity stabilizes. You no longer feel like you're fighting yourself. Your habits start sticking. Your discipline becomes natural. Your confidence grows because you are no longer living in a space that contradicts your goals. Your frequency rises because your surroundings no longer pull you downward. Your focus sharpens because your environment no longer distracts you. Once your environment aligns with your future, the universe begins aligning your opportunities with breathtaking speed. You attract higher quality people. You make better decisions. You feel more grounded. You develop consistency. You feel lighter, you feel clearer, you feel stronger. Because now, everything inside you and everything around you is moving in the same direction. When your environment matches your future, your destiny unfolds without resistance. This is why the universe responds instantly. When your inner identity rises, you begin changing your outer world to reflect that identity. And once both worlds match, manifestation becomes natural, success becomes predictable. Growth becomes easier, blessings flow faster. Your environment is a mirror of your future. Change the mirror, and the reflection of your life changes with it. At every stage of your journey, there comes a moment when life asks you a simple question. Who are you becoming? Not who you've been, not who others think you are, not who your past mistakes try to convince you to be, but who you are choosing to become right now, in this moment. Because everything you want, every breakthrough, every blessing, every opportunity, every shift in your reality begins with that decision. You have learned that the universe does not respond to wishes, hopes, or dreams alone. It responds to identity. It responds to energy. It responds to certainty. It responds to the version of you that shows up with belief, discipline, and readiness. When you change your inner world, your outer world begins to reorganize itself around your new center. When you walk like someone who knows their value, life reflects that value back to you. When you speak with clarity and confidence, doors open in response to your voice. When you visualize your future with emotion and conviction, your mind begins preparing you for it long before it becomes physical. When you take action, even uncertain action, the universe rewards your movement. When your words align with your destiny, your reality bends to match your language. And when you prepare for the life you desire before it arrives, you send a signal of readiness that the universe cannot ignore. Every lesson leads to the same truth. You must become the version of yourself who already has what you're asking for. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when everything is perfect, but now, in your mindset, in your habits, in your environment, in the way you carry yourself, in the standards you choose for your life. Because once your identity rises, your destiny rises with it. You are not waiting for the universe. The universe is waiting for you to step out of your past and into your potential, waiting for you to stop doubting your worth and start embodying your greatness, waiting for you to release the habits, people, and environments that keep you small, waiting for you to speak with power, move with intention, and prepare with faith, waiting for you to decide that the life you desire is not something distant, it is something you are aligning with right now. The moment you act like it's already yours, everything changes. The moment you stop chasing and start embodying, the blessings start moving toward you. The moment your inner identity matches your future reality, manifestation becomes a natural consequence. Because the universe always rises to meet the person who rises to meet themselves. So, walk with certainty, speak with intention, prepare with seriousness, move with confidence, surround yourself with alignment, visualize with emotion, Carry yourself like someone who already belongs where they are heading, because once you do, the universe will not delay what is meant for you. It will not deny what you are ready for. It will not hold back the blessings that match your identity. You are not becoming the person who will get the life you want. You are becoming the person who already deserves it. And once you embody that truth, the universe responds instantly.